Die Hard. It's a Christmas movie. It's my Christmas movie. Do you see my sweater, my mug, my social media post? Pay attention to me. I'm so kitschy. Remember when Die Hard was on Friends, but also how Chandler Bong and Dollar Store Danza used to talk about Die Hard being their favorite movie?
Die Hard.
Remember Friends? Friends are my friends. I wear the Friends shirt I got at Target and watch the Die Hard DVD I bought at Walmart because I remember the one where it's Bandler and Ayo's Christmas movie. I absorbed so much Friends growing up because it was on around the same time as Seinfeld and my sister used to watch it. We had 3 channels. Alright, so I'm guilty as charged. I covered Die Hard on the NES years ago around the holidays and have the mugs, so I'm part of the problem, but my friends and I were better back in the day because we watched Die Hard this time of year back before it was cool. I have a beard and eat avocado toast, but I don't wear flannel. PBR is delicious, indie bands rock, irony is my religion, and Chandler starred with Die Hard in a couple movies with that insufferable fedora-wearing hipster Kevin Pollak.
It's embarrassing, Andy.
Why do people wear Friends t-shirts? If someone buys me one more Die Hard related gift this year, I'll probably die even harder inside. The movie is still a masterpiece that I'll still probably watch on Christmas Eve while texting my friends, but announcing that it is a Christmas movie is so played. The merchandise is lame, yippee-ki-yay, doesn't work without the motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
There's nothing funny about yippee-ki-yay without the motherfucker on your sweaters and mugs. The point gets lost entirely.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
The NES game I covered many moons ago was faithful to the movie, almost to a fault, but far better than it had any right to be. This 1991 Japanese exclusive alternative was created by Pac-In Video, the same development studio responsible for the 8-bit Nintendo one, but it's far less faithful to the source material. In the beginning, there was a one-eyed Vietnam vet named Die Hard who had a dangerous shell-shock fueled flashback to his time at war. The overgrown shrubbery of the parks surrounding Nakatomi Plaza reignites his rage as he uses a variety of different weapons to mow down security guards during his latest acid flashback. This is Die Hard. The controls are fine. One button shoots, the other jumps. Weapons, armor vests, and health packs erupt from the corpses of middle-aged, minimum wage earning security guards, so your murder spree can last even longer. There's a small handful of guns to swap between, but only one can be held at a time, and ammo is limited. Bottles of malt liquor refill a tiny bit of health, while also numbing your mind as you stomp your way through these city environments and waterways to seek vengeance on Charlie. Once inside Nakatomi Plaza, you'll be forced to make your way through mazes with very little guidance or identifiable landmarks for assistance. There are 2 of these in this game and they're absolutely miserable to experience. You're always on a timer and one wrong step compounds on the confusion by sending you all the way back. There are so many branching pathways and doors to memorize, it's truly awful. The first of these pop up after a couple of relatively straightforward run-and-gun levels. It's confusing just for the sake of padding out the length, and by this point, the simplistic gameplay was already getting repetitive. Oh, and forget about backtracking, because once you've committed to a direction, there's no way to retrace your steps without having to reset the loop all over again. It also doesn't help that some baddies shoot before Die Hard is even on screen. Health drops are plentiful, but it's still bogus, man. I really dig the PC Engine, but the device was just packed to the tits with shooters. Die Hard plays like a bargain bin bloody wolf without any of the charm or silliness to keep me invested. It can be completed casually in about an hour, but the pair of labyrinthine levels make it seem much longer. The same groups of enemies appear from beginning to end, and the few boss encounters are frustrating exercises in patience due to the limited ammo situation. Challenge rooms break up the monotony a bit, with health and ammo rewarded for their completion, but they still don't bring any new, interesting opponents to the table. Some of the baddies, both big and small, are based off of the terrorists from the movie. The sprites are large, detailed, and animated well enough, but there's really not a lot to do here outside of gunning. It's about as bland as a game can be. Everything is serviceable, nothing straight up busted, but it's the equivalent of vanilla cake from a box on your birthday with no sprinkles or icing. Sure, it's edible, but no heart went into making it. Some frills, a bit of pizzazz, you know? Let's spruce things up a bit. Let's Spruce Willis things up a bit. I'm not much of a sweets guy, but this blandness is a bit insulting. Enter the solar inferno, the one where Die Hard walked too close to the sun. I dig how damage is shown on the character, so I guess there's that. His undershirt gets all bloody and torn. Kenji Yoshida's music is a mixed bag. The beats are satisfying, but more often than not, the treble is turned up to 11, which results in shrill, unpleasant tones. Most of the tunes include dissonant sections that don't help matters much at all. The sound effects are the same, with most abusing my ear holes with their high-pitched, screechy nonsense. Listen to how grating it is when text pops up on screen. Oh, the humanity. It's hard to make the PC Engine sound bad, but this game certainly tries. I touched on it a bit, but the bosses are a bit of a problem for me. For one thing, they're all bullet sponges who require no less than 8,263 shots to take down. If you're going to show their life bar, have it make sense. Why is it necessary to chip away at these egg-shaped health things when a bar would have done the trick? Personal gaming pet peeves aside, they move around like hyperactive primates on bath salts, making the only viable option the grenade launcher, which has the smallest ammo pool. They're not entirely bad though. The sheer size of them is impressive, and the sprite detail is cool, but they're often dumped on the player after resources have been used on lesser foes throughout the stages. You've gotta know when to stock up, and their patterns need to be memorized, otherwise you're in for a bad time. Fortunately, the checkpoints leading up to them are generous, and the developers were kind enough to supply a reasonable amount of ammo to take them on in the rooms that lead up to their arenas. Though, more often than not, I wasn't given enough bullets and had to resort to my fists. Still, they're probably the highlight of the game, as it does require a modicum of skill to take them out. A few more wouldn't have hurt. Across the many repetitive stages, there are only a few in total, with the last one being the most egregious example I've experienced in years of bullet spongy padding. Sure, it drops health and ammo, but again, what's the point of a boss having a health bar if it doesn't deplete in a sensible, reliable way? Also, why is Die Hard fighting a chopper? The FBI hassled him throughout the film, but why is this the conclusion? Oh right, the flashbacks, the horror. It's fine. This video game oftentimes comes across as something developed by Martians, but it's okay. Die Hard on the PC Engine is okay. The music is average at best, the gunplay works, and the graphics get the job done. The game is a middle-of-the-road shooter that is better than most movie-licensed properties. It's more fun to play than the NES alternative, but not as experimental or clever. The PC Engine is one of my favorite consoles ever, and Die Hard is my Christmas film, so I guess I was expecting a bit more than an average action title here. It's the yippee-ki-yay without the motherfucker. Next time on this channel, the Blues Brothers aerial combat and Santa, so stay tuned.
Hey, McLean, I got a first-class unit here, SWAT team and all. We don't need any Monday morning quarterbacks.
Get Monday morning. My wife saw one of those planes these guys are fooling with. That puts me on the playing field.